Hey guys, DocStorm here today. So first of all, what I want to say is thank you everyone for all your support. You guys have been great, very kind with your comments, things like that, and I really do appreciate it. I love this game, and I really want to play this game as best as I could, and then also share with you some of the tips and strategies that I use myself personally, just so everyone can be better at their game, and hopefully these tips will be a bit helpful for some of you. So you guys can enjoy the game hopefully as much as I do. But today what I want to show you is again another deck as I promised that I'm trying out. Instead of my old deck which I run Barbarians and Fireball, I'm actually making small changes. You guys know that I like making smaller changes to be consistent with my play, and I recommend the same thing to you guys. So here, instead of using the Barbarians, I'm using a Valkyrie, and instead of using the Fireball, I'm using the Poison spell. Why I did some of these swaps is I actually really enjoy playing with the Valkyrie. I find she is a very overpowered and underrated character. And you guys know my first video, my first deck that I showed you. I've been using the Valkyrie for a long time. So I really do miss her, and I'm glad that she's back into my deck. And why I switched the poisons for the Fireball is it's not that Fireball won't work. It's just that poison gives me that extra control against other Elixir Collector decks, and especially because those miners sometimes they play Elixir Collectors. And also, it does help me when I don't have a better play. I can always play a poison spell on the field, just to help me out there, and also spawner decks like the Barbarian Huts and the Goblin Huts. So that's why I chose these two swaps. And I do see that this deck in particular is played up in higher arena levels by other players as well. So I know this deck does work. But let's show you some replays here again of current decks that you will face, the current meta decks, so that it'll help you guys with your gameplay. So here I'm gonna pick, well, what I want to do today is I'll show you two replays, with commentary of course, of decks that we face a lot. And I'll break it up into two parts so that I'm going to show you two now and then two videos at another time, so that it doesn't make the video too long and drawn out. So let's take a look at this miner opponent here. So I love it when I have the Elixir Collector again, because it is a safe play usually. So here I delay the play a little bit just in case my opponent tries to rush me, right? So now that I know that he's not, I play the Elixir Collector. Sometimes it is better to wait that 1 or 2 seconds. And again, you'll see here me waiting to play the cannon because you want the Royal Giant to cross the bridge before you engage with the cannon, because you want the Crown Tower and the cannon attacking the Royal Giant because the Royal Giant has a really far range. And why I opted to play the Musketeer here instead of the Zap is because usually I know that the Musketeer will be left over because she is such a strong character, and it's one efficient way to use her, right? If I use my Zap spell is gone, and yes, it will kill the minion hordes or the minions with my tower, but I want her to be left over so I can go for a counterattack. And again here, I don't have a better play, so I'll play my Elixir Collector. And again, another good example why you try not to play the Elixir Collector next to your tower first, because they can damage your tower and the Elixir Collector with a rocket. So again, waited with my cannon and play my skeletons again. You'll see the skeletons are actually super powerful if they're left unchecked. They actually have a lot of damage. It's just that they're very fragile. So the skeletons are actually a very powerful unit for one elixir. So you guys need to know how to play them very well. And I'll show you more and more videos about that. The poison with the Valkyrie and the Hog push is very ideal because the poison takes care of all the air units, usually minions, that they will play. The Valkyrie helps take out all the land units that they play, and then the Hog runs right straight in. So that's usually a very, very strong combo and a very strong push, as you can see there. So again, I don't have a better play, so I'm going to play the Elixir Collector down. And now look at my Valkyrie placement for the miner. If you can anticipate your unit and you drop it right where the miner pops up, the miner actually gets attracted to your unit first instead of, say, the buildings that you put next to it. So guys, you have to anticipate where the miner pops up and place a unit there right away so that the miner attacks your unit and not the tower. That's one of the most effective ways of countering the miner here. And then later here, you'll see me play kind of aggressive. I'm not playing too defensively. I'm actually going a bit on the offense because you guys don't do this when you're actually playing. I'm trying to complete my crown chest. And because I knew that I pretty much had this game in the bag, that's why I'm going a little bit more offensive. But again, guys, try not to do that. Sometimes that's not a good idea. You'll end up losing the game. So here you see me having a pretty big victory or pretty much big lead. So I play my musketeer at the end there, trying to hope to get the three crowns, but the game ended there. So again, that's pretty much it. So a little bit of a recap. When you're facing Royal Giants and you have a building like cannon, try to wait till he passes that bridge so that when you place the defensive building, your defensive building can reach the Royal Giant, and also your tower, your crown tower, can also damage the Royal Giant. Because if you place the defensive structure too late, the Royal Giant will lock onto your tower, and then they'll start damaging your tower. And if you play your defensive building too early, the Royal Giant will take out your defensive building without your defensive building even attacking the Royal Giant. So timing is very key in laying your defensive structures when you're placing the Royal Giant. The second thing is the miners. If you place a unit and you can anticipate where he pops up and you place it right before he does, the miner actually gets attracted more to your unit instead of the buildings next to it. So you can protect your towers, your elixir collectors, things like that. But then again, it's kind of hard anticipating it, but sometimes you can. Like where I put that Valkyrie was right in between my elixir collector and my tower. So I knew that was a good spot for my opponent to put the miner. So I just waited a little bit to see if it was trailing relatively close to that, and then I placed my Valkyrie there. So again, it effectively countered the miner. So those are two of the main tips I would say for that video. Now let's see here. Let's show you this video. I find this video very interesting. It's another deck that you will see a lot. It's running the Giant, Mini P.E.K.K.A, and Balloon. These are very strong combination, as you will see here, okay? So again, I love it when I have the Elixir Collector. I play it down, but make sure you wait a few seconds in case they hard rush you. That way you don't want to play the Elixir Collector. I like to play the Zap when they play the minions at the back, because that way I can damage the tower a bit too. But you'll see the minions is very powerful because now the Mini P.E.K.K.A and the Giant is tanking for the minions, and the minions actually do a lot of damage. So you'll see that I'm not doing too well right now. They are damaging my tower really well, and they are also up with their elixir lead. So I am in a bit of a trouble here. But don't give up in this game, guys. You guys have to keep playing because sometimes you never know. Your opponents might make bad moves or you might end up making very good moves. So again, don't give up in this game. Just keep playing the best as you can. I find that's the hardest. So why I play the poison there is I don't want the opponent to repeat the same thing with the minions. So I try to put the poison, damage all those units a little bit, and also get rid of the minions. And here I place the skeletons at the back. Hopefully they can do some damage on the Giant before the Valkyrie finishes it off, because I don't have a better play here. So here again, lay the Valkyrie, try to defend as best as I can, but my opponent actually has a really strong push at this point. So again, now that I know he played the Mini P.E.K.K.A there, I'm very safe to put my HOG and my Valkyrie to make a good push. So I zap, take care of the skeletons, and bam, he reviewed he has a free spell. At this point, I'm losing quite a bit ahead, a lot here. But again, I try to defend as best as I can. And at this point, if you look at the two towers, I knew my only chance was to get a 3-crown win here. So I put my musketeer to defend a little bit, and I know at this point I'm going for a full-out push. Because for me to have any chance at this game, I need to push him hard and get that 3-crown. So here I'm playing the cannon there just to distract them a little bit, save some time, and I'm going for a huge push, keeping both eyes on both playing fields here. He places a freeze, which was very good play, but good thing my musketeer can finish the Mini P.E.K.K.A and finish the tower at the end. So it was a very close game, guys. But again, I chose to tell you that sometimes you can't give up with this game. you have to make the best judgment you can as you can. In that case, I knew I was going to lose unless I went for the 3-star. So right when you kind of see your opponents trying to play on the other side is when you full out rush the other side to hope for the best. Sometimes it doesn't work, but as you can see here, sometimes that's what you do to scrape that win. Again, this game, there is a little bit of a luck because it does depend on the cards that you draw, the cards your opponents draw or they start off with. But at the end of it, there's a lot of judgment calls that you get to make throughout the game. So you just have to know, again, what your deck can do, what your opponent's deck can do, and make the best judgment as you can, like the one in that game. So one quick fact is when you learn what cards your opponent has and what cards you have, it's better for you to make a good judgment call. So for example, if you know your opponent has a mini P.E.K.K.A, try your best to save your skeletons to defend it and instead of going for the push. Because sometimes I like to pair my skeletons and my HOG, but in cases where I see them having a mini P.E.K.K.A and they haven't used it yet for a defense against my HOG, then I try to save them for defense against the mini P.E.K.K.A. And then another thing about giant and balloon decks is they are very slow. So that's one thing that you need to know and take advantage of. So for example, in that last video, I knew they were going to push me for a 3 crown, but I knew that giant and the balloon are very slow units. So I really took advantage of that and I made for a big rush on their other lane with my Hog Rider, which is faster. And then I placed my Valkyrie very far front and hope for the best there. So guys, sometimes that's just what you have to do. You gotta make a judgment call. And guys, never give up at this game because you can make a huge comeback when you play smart and when you're a little bit, luck is a little bit on your side. So guys, I hope again you enjoyed this video about this new deck that I'm trying out. Again, the next video I'm going to show you more gameplays about facing more common decks that you will see in Arena 6, Arena 7, and Legendary Arena. So hopefully they can help with your gameplay. So guys, if you like what I'm doing here, please give me a like, hit up subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel out a lot, and I hope to bring you with more and more videos. And thanks again for all your support, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And clash on.